In this episode, since the release of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I got a bad case of Pokemon fever, so stick around. Hello and welcome to Days of Dorker Past. My name's Rob, and in this episode, I'm going to talk about Pokemon. I've been a fan of Pokemon since they were first released way back in the day. I think even before the show came out, just the cards. I never played, but they were so awesome looking. Such neat little critters, such neat little stories about them, and I've just been along for the ride ever since. Like I said, since the release of Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, I've just been all about Pokemon recently. Now, I don't have the games yet. I'm asking Santa for them. Well, my daughter is, at least. But anyway, Pokemon range from the cute to the disturbing. And what I want to talk about today is the ones that really creep me out. And even the creep factor on these goes from they're cute, but there's just something off about them, to just mind-blowingly creepy and weird. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to start on the cute end of the spectrum, if you will. And number one on the list is Cubchoo. Now, Cubchoo is just a little bear, little blue bear. But what makes it creepy to me is it's got this monstrous booger hanging out of its nose. It just sways back and forth and it's always there. That's gross and creepy. And apparently the more it tries to sniff it up, it builds up its freezing powers. Now, on something like that, I'd have to say the creators were just trying to throw more content out, and they didn't care, because that's creepy and weird and gross. So like I said, we're starting on the cute end. That's not really that bad, but just imagine owning one, or however you want to say it, and you throw it out of your Pokeball and there it is with a booger swaying back and forth wanting to hug you or something. Just not cool. Not cool. Now, number two on the list is Gloom. Now, kind of like with Cubchoo, Gloom is always depicted with slobber coming out of its mouth, and it just always looks sad and mopey with saliva dripping out of its mouth. And it's weird because you go from Oddish, which is super cute, and believe me, if I lived in a Pokemon world, Oddish would be cool. I'd like them running around. And even Vileplume, which it evolves into ultimately, is cute and pretty cool. But in the middle is Gloom. And I mean, I guess it's poison saliva just dripping out, but yet again, and even in the anime, they make it like it just comes waddling up with spit hanging out, and it's just creepy, just gross, weird, creepy. Definitely would not have it on my Pokemon roster. Ugh. Number three on the list is Execute, and in turn, Executor. Now, what makes them creepy, in my opinion, well, first off, with Execute, it's 6 little eggs with faces with cracks on them. And they hop around. And that's creepy and weird. Yeah. Just a gaggle of eggs, like one entity. That's just weird. But then when it evolves, it turns into Executor, which is a palm tree on legs with 3 coconut faces on it. And I find that creepy because do they have a hive mind? does each one think independently? I mean, that's just creepy. I mean, they all share one body, three faces, and when they evolve, if there's six eggs, shouldn't they turn into two executors? Because there's three coconuts? Or do three of the executes sacrifice themselves to this hive mind palm tree monster? Just trips me up, man. Number 4 on the list, Tangla and Tangrowth. Now, Tangla, I mean, just imagine now they say they're vines, but a writhing pile of vines with two eyes in it, wearing sneakers and running around. Now, vines, I mean, if they're, like vines outside in your garden and stuff, ivy or whatever, that wouldn't be too bad. But they're depicted as like tendril, wormy, and I can just imagine like have you ever seen those like just big troughs of worms, and they're all undulating over each other and just ugh. I can just imagine a ball of that with two little eyes and sneakers running around. That creeped me out, man. You imagine something like that running up to you? Not cool, man. Not cool. And when it evolves into Tangrowth, it gets taller and bigger, and then it has two tendrils off the side. So it uses these things like hands, and imagine that grabbing onto your leg or something, or trying to give you a hug. Because, Pokemon are friendly for the most part, so it just wants to be your buddy and give you a hug with those things. Ugh. Number 5 on the list is Jinx. And there's just something weird about humanoid Pokemon. Now, Mr. Mime, I won't even include him on the list because the dude's charming. I mean, as we've seen in the anime, he hangs out with Ash's mom and is like a little butler dude, and that's cool, and he seems nice. But something about Jinx, it's the hair, I mean, how she's depicted is, and it's 100% female with how they're hatched, but it has breasts. I mean, that's creepy. Has the long hair, like I said, and attacks by kissing. I mean, that just seems like whoever created Jinx may have some women issues. Yeah, just weird. And like I said, humanoid Pokemon, that just seems more like slavery. But anyway, number 6 on the list is Girafarig, if that's how you pronounce it. And it's a very cute Pokemon with a giraffe body, has a long neck and a cute little face head on it. But it's its tail. It looks like a Chain Chomp from Mario, and it has its own independent brain. And no matter what you read about it, that's the one thing it plays up. It's got a small brain in its tail that can attack independently. Again, two brains sharing one body. I just think that's creepy. Maybe that's just me, but I think that's creepy. Especially when the tail can attack independently. If you try to sneak up on it, it's going to bite you with its tail, and it thinks. It's not just a defense mechanism like a earthly creature. No, it's got a brain. It's thinking. It's thinking, I'm going to bite you if you get close to me. And, I mean, do they sit there and talk to each other? Another weird one. Now, number 7 on the list, we're going to get away from the cutesy, weird, and creepy into just downright creepy. Number 7 is Spirit Tomb. And what Spirit Tomb is a entity that's been contained within a rock. And apparently they've been there for like 500 years. But the mass of this entity is made up of 120 spirits, ghosts, that it has trapped, and it draws on those for its power. That's that's straight out of a horror movie, which is cool. It's very cool, but creepy when you're talking about the world of Pokemon, of I Choose You Spirit Tomb. You gotta be a real evil dude to enslave a creature that is made up of 120 lost souls that it has bound to itself. Um, I mean, the entity itself was trapped in a stone because it was pretty bad, apparently. I don't know about evil since it's a kid's property, but bad enough. So that is neat, really neat in a horror monster sense, but for a kid friendly show, manga, comic, game, that's creepy. Now, number 8 on the list is made up of all 3 of a creature's evolutions. And we'll kick it off with Litwick, which it's a small, cute little candle thing. Cute until you realize that its flame is made up of spirits that it has sucked out of people. And the stronger the flame, the more spirits that it has, and it like lures people in with its cuteness and sucks out their souls to light its candle. Again, cool in a horror sense, but for a kid's show, dang. Now, its next evolution is Lampet, which again is a cutesy looking little critter, but its backstory is that it hangs out in hospitals and in nursing homes waiting for people to die. So let's just imagine someone's in a hospital, they take a turn for the worse, they die, their spirit leaves their body, and Lampet's there to grab it and pull it into itself to make itself stronger. Yet again, can you imagine whipping out your Pokeball and like, Lampet, I choose you. You gotta be an evil dude because you're leashing a creature on this world that will suck somebody's soul away. That's just bad for a kid's show, but it's awesome. Its next evolution is Chandelure, and what the story says about this is when you get close to its light, it'll suck your soul out just like its other evolutions, but your spirit is doomed to wander endlessly. Like it takes all the joy out of your being, out of your soul, and just leaves this husk of a spirit that just wanders aimlessly forever. Like you're stuck in limbo or worse. Not a kid's show. Awesome. If that was a horror movie, I'd be first in line to get tickets. But for a kid's show, man, no. Man, what? And they hide it all with these cutesy little faces. Oh. Number 9 on the list is another evolution, if you will. We'll start with Sandygast. Now, Sandygast is a mound of sand with a shovel on the top of its head and a big gaping maw of a mouth. And apparently, if you get caught by it, it'll mind control you, and what it'll do is make you build it up, build sandcastles and intricate things to turn it into its next evolution, which is Paleosand. Now, Paleosand, pretty neat. It's a big living sandcastle that will come out of the beach and attack people, and they're very aggressive, by the way. And especially the Sandygast, it says it right there that it'll go after kids. Go after kids. But anyway, the Paleosand, in its description, it says underneath of it are the bones of people that it has killed. Yeah. And this is in the Aloha region, which is your sun, fun, Hawaii-esque type of region. But then they follow it up with, yeah, and this Pokemon sits on a pile of bones under the sand of people that it's killed. Yeah. For number 10 on the list, I'm throwing a wide blanket over a type of Pokemon that was released in the Aloha region as well, which is the newest of the Pokemon generations. And those are the Ultra Beasts. Now, Ultra Beasts are, for all intents and purposes, the Pokemon equivalent of the Elder Gods of, like, Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft stuff. These are beings outside of time and space that humans cannot comprehend. These are chaotic beasts that just want nothing but destruction. They range from size from like 7 feet tall to like 30 feet tall. And like I said, they escape human explanation and they come out of time and space through these wormholes. And yeah, when you start introducing that kind of Lovecraftian horror into Pokemon, that's very cool. Very cool. But as I'm reading this stuff to my kids, I'm just like, how can I put this in a tone that they can understand? They can't. But just imagine an unearthly horror from what they call ultra space, which I guess is like deep space, where like the star children and the elder gods and stuff are from, being unleashed on this earth. You got Pikachu on one hand and these things on the other. Now, I love Pokemon. I love it. If I could have one wish to be set into a fantasy world, it would be the Pokemon world. I would love to be a Pokemon trainer, run around with all these little critters and stuff, and them be friends, and them, whooping butt. That'd be awesome. But when you start adding that stuff into it, that's just weird. I just can't wait to see where the next generation of Pokemon goes, because if you're touching on this kind of stuff, what's next? Anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's a little bit different for this episode, but like I said, I've just been in a very Pokemon frame of mind recently. Can't wait till Christmas, and hopefully Santa brings us the games, and maybe I'll do a quick review about them when I get them, or when the kids get them. But anyway, thanks for watching. My name's Rob. This has been Days of Dorker Past, so keep being rad, stay dorky, and we'll catch you next time. Yeah.